Hello, welcome back to KXAN Plus. I'm your host, Esmeralda Zamora, and today we have our Simple Health segment with our KXAN Simple Health expert, Jose Torres. Jose, thanks for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Esme. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, before we start this episode, I do want to start off with Simple Health and why we do Simple Health here at KXAN. Can you give us kind of the rundown of what Simple Health is?
Yeah, I think sometimes we can overcomplicate things, whether it's a new study or maybe you're working on your fitness or nutrition. There's so much going out there, whether it's in social media or in news media. So what we try to do is just simplify that for you and empower you.
And Jose, today our topic has to do with mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. What are we going to be talking about today?
Well, we're talking about the role exercise plays in mental health. Exercise can help ease the symptoms of depression and anxiety. And while it's not a substitute for professional treatment, it does help. And there is a group here in the Austin community that is doing just that with fitness. Take a look.
It's my favorite part of every Saturday morning.
We love it.
We're gonna be all doing these together. You can do as many as you want. You can go as hard as you want. Completely up to you.
Let's go. Sharks.
You set the pace for yourself.
I'm not actually of their age group.
What's up, baby? We good?
Of course, I'm not to their standard. But everybody encourages, so it gives me, motivation. Of course, my son Yash,
Let's go.
he has introduced to this community.
3, 2, 1. The thing with a Murph is like a push up. It's a push, a pull, and it's legs. The first one is a close grip push up. Come in here. Close grip. Next one is a pull. So instead of pull ups, we're gonna have gorilla rows. And I'm gonna row here. Bam, bam. For legs, to just 10 reverse lunges. So we're here, 10 on each side. So broad jump burpees is 10 reps. Explode, soft landing. You're gonna shuttle run, so you're gonna take that weight. You're gonna come over here, come back, take it right back from the top. You just keep cycling through for 40 minutes. Oh no, it's falling.
Like mottos is like turning fear into focus.
Double pack back.
So when you're scared to do something, whether it's like running a new distance, trying to lift a new weight, just try it.
How much do you have there?
200 pounds.
200 pounds?
Yeah.
And find someone else who's already done it who can come beside you
Double pack back, need some help?
and maybe, teach you a little bit, but also encourage you. And you'll find that you can do so much more than you realize.
Where do you want? Much over.
So let that fear be something that like focuses you into action.
There we go. Let's go.
You like this community?
Yeah, bro, I love it. Been here about a year and a half. First day I moved to Austin, I came to Squash and never looked back.
Nice.
Well, Jose, that was a great story you put together. You spoke with a lot of individuals who are part of this group. Who did you speak with and what did they tell you?
Well, you heard from the older gentleman there. He and his son use fitness as a way to bond together. And they have a unique story. They actually did this pretty tough fitness event that is trending around the world. It's called High Rocks. And so I'll have a little bit of that in my web story. And then who you didn't hear about in this particular story, we're going to hear here in a moment shortly. He goes by Coach Bray. He was the leader of this workout. And he is very open and transparent about men's mental health. And we're going to talk to him about that coming up after this segment.
We'll be right back. And we're back here with our guest, Jose, who is with us here in the studio today.
Joining us today is Brayton Alley, but he goes by Coach Bray. Bray, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jose. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Again, like I said earlier, you are very open about your journey, your personal journey dealing with mental health. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I 10 years ago, 11 years ago was my first bout of depression post-college. And at that point in time, I was not prioritizing my health. And what got me out of the hole without going to the full story was prioritizing my health. And from there, just has spiked a passion. That passion has led to purpose. And first it was to heal me and save me. And then now it's been a mission to help others.
So you have this personal connection with mental health and a passion to let your story out and help others. If you can elaborate a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we are at our healthiest, typically we are more in tune with what we want in life. And the more that we are not prioritizing that, the easier it is to be kind of clouded, the easier it is to kind of fall into darkness or spiral. And it's harder to get out of it. You start digging yourself deeper and deeper into a hole where it's harder to get out. And I find that the healthier, the clearer you are, the more energy you have, the more action oriented you are, the easier it is to not spiral downward.
And how does fitness play a role into, clarity and maybe just turning some of those bad days into better days?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the bigger problem in modern society is we have more comfort than ever before. It's awesome that we have that and we have that at our disposal, but what that has also created is people who are just not moving as much. And it's important, we were designed to move. We are multidimensional beings that are designed to move, and it's important for us to prioritize that because it's going to allow us again, just the energy to be able to think more clearly.
And the workout that we're seeing right now, this was from moments that I captured during Saturday's workout. Tell me a little bit about your role as the community leader with this gym, which is Squatch Frontier Fitness.
Yeah, it's a place that's near to my heart, and it helped me with the space and the freedom, which is important. To kind of identify who I am as a coach, and from there, as I shared, previously, it's been a passion to lead into a purpose to help elevate others, and really raise the bar that they have for themselves, the standard that they have for themselves. And a big part of this community, some of the different language we use is, having a mountain to climb, a peak to go after, but not just doing it individually, knowing that there's someone out there that wants to do a similar climb, and that you get to share that with someone else. It allows for a bridge of connection because we are designed to do things together. And if we aren't intentionally putting ourselves in these scenarios, it's very easy to go down this lonely path, and that lonely path makes it very easy for us to live in our head, and living in our head can be a recipe for not necessarily disaster, but it can move in that direction, but a recipe for us not necessarily doing the things that actually bring us joy, doing the things that make us feel alive. And I think fitness, moving the body, sweating, it doesn't necessarily always have to be hard, can make us feel alive.
Yeah, just like a 5 or 10 minute walk out there can help improve your mindset just for that. And it only takes that one step. What would you say is a challenge for people who are dealing with those dark days, who are afraid to take that first step? What would you recommend in that situation?
For sure, yeah. It's challenging because there's a lot of layers. I think the first thing is what I would suggest is just having love and grace for yourself and where you're at. That may be hard if I would reflect on my younger self, like it was very hard for me to do that because I was just so ashamed for how I was showing up in the world. So, which then would spiral into, some judgment towards myself and would spiral to self-sabotage. So if I were to flip the script, it's really, you need to get out of your head. So if that's just like the simplicity of it, how can I get out of my head? If that's going for a walk in a world where technology is all around us, if that means like quieting the noise, leaving the phone behind, and simply just going out in nature and connecting with source, God, whatever it may be, or talking to a close friend, or it's a therapist, something that allows you to not be the ruler of the thoughts in your head. Because at the end of the day, we create our reality, how we view the world, and a lot of things that we think we believe in, that become our belief systems or our identities, aren't actually something that actually represents who we are. And for us to be able to have those conversations, for us to be able to kind of move those emotions and those thoughts to where they don't just like settle and stagnate and carry weight, it allows for us to, again, get back to thinking clearly. So if the process, again, to just recap what I just said, is get out of your head and know that whatever that first step looks like, whether it is going for a walk or a hard workout or going to a gym or calling your mom or going to a new community event or going on a date, whatever that like, if I were to simplify even more, it's like whatever is kind of challenging your comfort zone in that moment in time. And you know what the answer is. Like I deeply believe that we have all the answers within us, but if we're not willing to kind of challenge the comfort in the moment, then we're just gonna keep sitting and not actually live out, how the path that we can go on.
Speaking of being, afraid of taking that first step as far as sharing your personal struggles, I've witnessed several of your workouts where sometimes you start with that, where taking that first step of, sharing what you're dealing with. Maybe you don't have to elaborate fully on what your personal struggle is, but I've seen in your fitness workouts that you lead that you encourage that. How is that? How do you do that, and why is that important? I know you touched on it just a while ago, but for somebody who is afraid of letting go of that vulnerability, why is that important, and how do you coach them through that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is understanding what's driving you. A lot of times, fear is what's driving us. So in this case of being vulnerable, of sharing something, it's probably there's some rooted fear of like caring what other people think about you. It's this fear of like thinking that someone's going to think that you're weak. It's a fear that there's many other layers you can dig into, and I think if you can name those fears, then you can face them. If you don't face them, that's where it's the fears start making the decisions for us, and we kind of live in our own, again, our head again. So as far as like practically a step to take, there's no right way. Because the thing is, with the beautiful thing about seeking challenges and doing it and repeating and showing up, it gets easier. Like for myself, like it was not easy at a point in time, but now I do feel like an open book, because it's just been something that I feel free. I feel that I don't have fears around how other people think, and like I know I'm not perfect. That's the other thing. It's like, if you know that you're not perfect and that you're a human and that you're going to have shortcomings, you're going to have struggles, and you know that that's a real thing that other people deal with too, it kind of levels the playing field to where you feel more comfortable to open up. Now, with that being said, I think it's important to find the right container where you do feel comfortable to do that. It doesn't have to be like a men's workout like it is for men in the arena. It doesn't have to be at a gym where there's a lot of kind of intense energy. It could be something that, again, it's just having a close friend that you can open to, or a family member. But it's when you feel safe in that container. It could be a therapist. There could be steps to this where a therapist is first, and then down the road, now you're open up to your friends. Now you're open up to your whole community. You just got to find what layer of like comfortability that you have to open up.
And what helped you open up to others? Because it's not an easy first step to take.
Yeah, I think at deep rooted, selfishly, everyone wants to feel seen, loved, and understood. It's something I've always believed in. And when you are vulnerable and you open up, it allows for a bridge of connection for people to understand how you think. And I think at the end of the day, when it comes to mental health, even this is not necessarily the role of exercise, but it is a part of community with the role of exercise, is we need people. And more importantly, we need like close relationships. And I think for me, I'm motivated by sharing. So because I want people to see me, to understand how I think and what I'm experiencing and how I'm viewing the world. And when I feel that people can see that and they understand the struggles that I'm going through, it gives me strength. And that's what I encourage to everyone I speak to, that like, one, I know it's not easy. I don't want to and I don't even like saying necessarily vulnerability is a strength. I think it's just natural. I think it's natural that we were designed to express ourselves. Society and different things have led to us not doing as much or feeling confident. But the more, again, that we can get comfortable, the more that we can be motivated by our own desires to feel seen, I think that it will bleed over into your actions.
Well, speaking of community and healing, you're about to lead an event here soon at Squatch Frontier Fitness that is going to challenge your fitness, your mind, your body. It's called the Murph Challenge. It sounds intimidating. Tell us what the Murph Challenge is, what it consists of, and who it honors.
Yeah, the Murph Challenge honors our fallen, our vets. Specifically, Murph is representing Lieutenant Michael Murphy. And it is a mile run into 300 air squats to 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and then a mile buyout. It's great because it's what I love about workouts like that too. It's like go at your own pace, and this is actually what I say to a lot of people that, especially when something from afar, like you mentioned High Rocks earlier, if something from afar looks super intense, at the end of the day, you get to control how hard you push yourself. You get to control how much effort you want to give that day. And there's no, in the communities that I'm a part of, like there's no pressure to be the best. There's no pressure to be the fastest or the strongest. That might be some internal, struggle that other people are experiencing because again, competition is natural. But the idea is like for us to come together and have a shared struggle, a shared challenge that we can, for lack of a better word, conquer and climb the mountain and then stand at the top of the peak and view it with our friends.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful moment with workouts like that, especially strangers that you don't know, but you're cheering each other on through something hard and then you finish it together.
Exactly.
Anything you want to express that I didn't get to ask you?
Yeah, I think the something I've been sitting with, I mentioned just like modern society. I feel with the advancement of technology and how fast things are going to continue to grow, it's going to become even more important for people to be rooted in truth and community and their health. And the more that you are, and the faster the ones who are and like disconnected, the gap is just going to get bigger because the advancement of technology is moving so fast that our nervous systems can't keep up. So I find it very important for people like myself, community leaders all around the world, to answer the call and bring people together, because not everyone is designed to do that, but there's people who have a calling to do that. And I think the more that you lean into that power, the more that we bring the people together, we're going to be just fine.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Jose. Thanks for writing about this interesting topic. We have your article here on our website, kxan.com. What can our readers learn from this article that we didn't get to touch on this stream?
Well, I have links there to some of the studies that I mentioned briefly at the top from the Mayo Clinic and from Harvard. There's also a link to a 24-hour hotline resource that you can call or text at any time. And I'll just say it right now. You can call or text 988 whenever you need someone to talk to.
I also see some info on some workouts here.
Yeah, and then we'll have a link to this Murph Challenge that is coming up at Squatch Frontier Fitness. Other local gyms are doing that as well, so I'll have a list of those as well.
Will you be doing that challenge too, Jose?
Oh, yeah. He's going to lead it, so I'm going to go there.
Well, good luck to both of you, and thanks so much for joining us here on KXAN Live. We'll be back next Monday with another Simple Health stream, but for now, thanks so much for joining us.